what are we doing today? You know, we're taking a day to ourselves. We're not going climbing mountains. We're not friggin' going to work. We're just taking time for ourselves, and that's what's important in health, guys. We need to find that balance between working, exploring, and also finding time for ourselves.
Morning, everybody. Another beautiful day here in California. This is exactly why I love travel nursing in California, because it's literally always like this. You can do whatever you want outside whenever you want. But I have one question for you guys. How do you guys stay healthy as a nurse? You want to know how we stay healthy as a nurse? Well, we're going to tell you. But first, let's meditate and stretch.
People start the day with birds chirping. I like to start the day with my kettle going off. This time I made coffee.
And we don't wake up before the birds.
Pete's coffee. Peter has the best coffee around town. And after we stretch and meditate, this is how we start the day. Pour a little bit of a cup, 2 tablespoons, 6 ounces of water. Enjoy within 30 minutes, boys and girls.
And no milk, no sugar. Occasionally we would add Splenda possibly or some sweetener, because like we do it faster for the most part, but I drink my coffee majority of the time black. I just drink it just for the effect, not necessarily for the flavor. But the flavor is good. I do enjoy the flavor too.
And if you're wondering why we stretch and meditate, so for one, when it comes to stretching, wake up in the morning, get the blood flow going, your muscles are nice and cold, get the whole body circulating. Circulation helps with everything in the body. Your body gets nutrients to the right muscles. And when it comes to meditation, a lot of people do it for different benefits, whether it's mindfulness, which I'll talk about later in the day. I honestly like it for my damn attention span. People have like ADHD nowadays, so this kind of hones me and helps me focus a lot more throughout the day, including all the other benefits of, you know, managing stress and all that.
And coffee also makes you poop. One cool thing about meditation is you can literally do it anywhere. So you can even do it at work. It doesn't have to be anything like extravagant. You don't gotta like sit down in like a pose and just meditate for 20 minutes, half an hour at a time. Like when you have a stressful patient, it's hard to deal with a family and you need a few minutes like to yourself. That's probably a good time to meditate a little bit. Like I said, you don't gotta do anything intense. Just step out of the room, go to like an empty room, empty patient's room, go to the bathroom, go to the lounge, and just sit down and take a few deep breaths and kind of calm yourself, because you know we've all been in our stressful situations and you just kind of, it just takes you over, right? You can't ground yourself back, but if you take those few minutes to yourself and able to comprehend what happened, kind of work through what just happened, think about what happened, look back at what you could have done better, it's gonna make you a better nurse for the future and it's gonna calm your anxiety down. I'm actually on my way to get a tattoo right now. Matt and our buddy Lucas is at the crib. They're gonna get ready to kind of hang out in LA, maybe go to Venice Beach. I'll probably do a workout while I get this done. It's about like a 6 to 8 hour session, so it's a pretty big piece. And regarding that, obviously we want to eat something hurts when you get a tattoo. In my case, I fast, so I'm gonna be doing intermittent fasting up until 4 p.m. It's about 1 o'clock now. Session should be about 6 to 8 hours. So I'll see how I do. I brought snacks just in case I would need one, but I should be okay. So something I want to touch upon while I drive. I got like a half an hour drive. I figured I'd give a little spiel about intermittent fasting, staying healthy as travelers, because it's really hard to stay healthy in general, and when you're on the go, it's even harder. So me personally, and same goes for Matt, is we prefer intermittent fasting. We've been intermittent fasting on and off for, I want to say, the last probably 4 years, maybe 5, and it treats us well. So we intermittent fast from midnight till 4 p.m. Ideally, sometimes we do 1 a.m. till 5, things like that. But we fast for 16 hours, and then we eat for the rest of the 4, or not the 4, but the rest of the 8. And that's been doing very well. We've been doing very well on that. Right now it's November, so we're gonna kind of push for a little bit more strict intermittent fasting. Probably once it gets to the more of the spring months, we'll probably cut down our weight and do a more strict intermittent fasting. Because right now we do intermittent fast, but of course when work gets busy, sometimes we do eat at 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, because it just depends. It's like a sacrifice that we have to take when you're a nurse. You can't always think about yourself and think about your meal time, because you got stuff to do. So intermittent fasting has been shown to have many benefits. A lot of it has to do with giving your gut a break and kind of your body cleaning up its waste, like dead cells. A lot of cells go through apoptosis, so programmed cell death, and intermittent fasting allows your body to clean those cells up quicker and more efficiently. And probably the biggest thing, it gives your gut a break. So your gut's always working, and if you're eating 8 meals a day, 6 meals a day, snacking, you're not really ever giving your gut a break. So it's kind of like a nice gut break for you. Also, a big part of staying healthy is obviously working out. Me and Matt are pretty strict on working out. He's been working longer than me. He already has a few years under his belt. Me, I probably have like maybe 1 to 2 years of weightlifting, and then that's pretty much it. But it's not a big deal. You can get into weightlifting anytime. The thing about weightlifting is you develop a habit with it, and then you just do it every day, every other day, and you just keep doing it, and it becomes like a lifestyle. So also regarding nutrition, so what kind of foods do we eat? I personally like to hang on a more keto side. I ideally like to have less than 50 carbs a day. Does not always work out, and that's okay. It's just how it is. But under 50 carbs is the goal. Usually I keep it under 75 majority of the days, just because I'm not a big fan of like the whole, I'm not a big believer in low carb, all that stuff. Just me personally, I feel less bloated and I feel better when I eat less carbs and get more of my calories and more of my nutrition from actual protein. So that's why I do it. I don't do it because of, promotes fat loss and all that. I just get bloated out of carbs, and I try to avoid them as much as I can. But it's real hard, because who doesn't love carbs, right? Carbs are amazing. Bread's amazing. Pastas are amazing. Peanut butter's amazing. Everything's amazing. They just don't always settle well with me. So I prefer to get most of my carbs from, or not my carbs, but get most of my nutrition, my calories from seafood, steak, chicken, meats, things like that, cheeses, lots of fats for the most part. But yeah, that's kind of the way I do dieting. And it's always good to have like a plan when you're dieting, that way you're not overly snacking, and you have to feel full. So why diets don't work is because you're able to feel hungry, able to go through this diet for 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks, a month at a time. But then after that 1 month, you're just like, damn, I'm not enjoying this food. Like, food's not making me happy. You might not think that mentally, but your body is thinking that. So next time you do like a diet, or maybe you have done it in the past, so you do a diet and you last 1 month. It's not bad. Diet for 1 month, maybe try to cut down real quick, like a quick little, or try to lean out or something, whatever you're trying to do. Why it fails is because you're not enjoying the food that you're eating. We're not bodybuilders, we're not professional weightlifters where you have to eat chicken and rice all the time. We could expand our nutrition. We could expand the foods that we eat and the foods that we cook. So why people fail is because they do that 1 month of dieting where they're miserable, not happy, they're not eating any of the foods they like, they're not expanding their knowledge on food. They're not understanding that, hey, I could be eating, more vegetables that taste well, a little more foods that taste well that are not on the carby side. They don't expand the knowledge on that. So they fail because you do it for a month, and then day number 31, day number 32 of your diet, guess what? You decide to binge. You decide to reward yourself. reward yourself with that one thing, and then guess what? You reward yourself again the next day, and then your diet is completely out the window. So it's not a diet that you should be following. It's a lifestyle change that you should be doing incrementally. Don't intermittent fast right away. If you're thinking about intermittent fasting, don't do it right away. Try like 6 hours, try 8 hours, try 10, try 12 on 12. Do that, explore it, because just because we do the 16 or somebody else does the 16 doesn't mean 16 might be the right one for you. A lot of people do 12 on, 12 off, and that works amazing. And they tried the 16 and they just couldn't do the 16, they just didn't feel good. So just do it.
So today is a personal day for myself. I'm gonna take some time. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm gonna go on the boardwalk, longboard a little bit, enjoy my time. But first, as Peter's getting a tattoo, guess what he forgot? His damn lunchbox. So I'm gonna do him a favor. I'm gonna go drop that off before I go do my own thing. And you know, the reason why he forgot is he's intermittent fasting. So we both like that for our health, meaning we take those 16 hours and we fast, we take that break. He couldn't have a food, so I'm gonna drop it off while he has a snack after 4 p.m. And today we're gonna talk about like health. If you're thinking about health, you might be thinking about mostly your physical body, what you're taking in, and if you're getting enough sleep. But it's a whole spectrum that we have to consider when it comes to health, correct? Emotionally, right? How are you managing stress? As nurses, sometimes we get freaking effed over by management, heavy patients, we get burnt out. How are you managing emotionally, correct? There's also on a social level, how is your communication between relationships, between your family? How are you managing that? Are you okay there? There's also spiritual. Are you hopeful? Are you grateful? You know, are you connecting to your higher self, correct? Like one way I like to keep myself aligned is meditation. And I wake up usually every single day and I'll meditate for at least 7 minutes. That's like my goal. And it grounds me because, you know, I work full time, I podcast, we try to do things for you. My mind is racing sometimes, and the only way to ground myself is through meditation. So to wrap this up, health. Think of it more than just what you're eating and whether you're sleeping. Look at it from every single spectrum and see how you overall feel. And I think when you manage that, you're going to have a higher level of happiness. Long story short. Story long. Anyways, I'm gonna get going here and I'll see you at PD's tattoo shop.
Talk in the morning, talk in the evening, eyes on you. You can talk to your brother, talk to your sister, eyes on you. You can talk to your father, talk to your mother, eyes on you. And only talk to your mind, talk to your soul, eyes on you. When you turn on the radio.
Quick pit stop in the middle of downtown. Peter's getting his tattoo. His lunchbox is secured. He won't go hungry.
Snacks, more snacks.
You can talk in the morning, talk in the evening, eyes on you.
Just got to Venice Beach and I have about an hour and a half of daylight. Sun sets at 4:30 here, unfortunately. And we're about to pump up the bike tire, got the longboard, and I love this because I was here for 5 months this year. So this is like bringing back memories. But I'm excited to just, you know, have the day off to myself and practice mindfulness. For those that don't know, it helps like regulate your emotions. You feel a lot better. You manage stress better. You prevent anxiety and depression. As you know, in our society, how prevalent is that? How many people take pharmaceutical pills for those three things? Well, a little bit of mindfulness comes a long way. So I'll talk about it on the beach while I'm kind of watching the sunset. And we're about to ride. See you guys there. So how about those skaters? Pretty freaking dope, right? Unfortunately, I'm not able to skateboard like that. I still have a longboard, so therefore I need to build up to that level. But right now I'm kind of hanging out. I'm watching the sunset. Look how beautiful that looks. Take a moment to breathe that in, some gratefulness. And the reason why I care so much about that, and like this is the perfect time to introduce mindfulness to people. Like, have you guys ever driven a car from point A to point B and then like realizing, how did I get here? It's like our mind was on autopilot, and our mind does this all the time. And a lot of people are on autopilot. They're not realizing how they are, how they feel, their emotions, what's bothering them, what pisses them off. They're just either stuck in the past or the present. And mindfulness has a lot of benefits. And this is why we need to balance work life with everything that we're doing. You know, even though you love doing something so much, you need to take time away from it. Like, balance is key, as they always say. So I really recommend mindfulness. And it could be anything simple. Deep breathing, taking a break from everything, and reading a book. Like, everybody has their own thing. Look at me, for example, today. How did I take time to absorb the present moment more? I was skating, doing something I'm loving, took a day off the gym, time to myself. So everybody chooses the way they want to be mindful. And when you become mindful, the more you practice this art, you're more conscious, present in the moment. So if you're present in the moment, you're able to realize everything consciously, the way you feel, the way you think. You're able to make rational decisions, because these rational decisions are based on you being conscious. So I recommend everybody to look into mindfulness. We have a little podcast about it if you guys want to look it up. And it's a great gift. And once you become aware, you'll know exactly when something pisses you off. And that's like the biggest thing, because managing stress is A1, If you have high cortisol, you're gonna have poor REM sleep and everything else. It's just like that cascade of bad nutrition and everything else we talk about on the podcast that we always hammer to you guys down to the nail, because it's that important. So I have a few more minutes left of this beautiful sun, but enjoy that, and I'll see you guys later. We just got back from a lovely adventure, kicking it back in the backyard. And what's the common theme here is that we as nurses, we're always taking energy outward and onto our patients, and we're not ever taking energy into ourselves and taking care of ourselves and improving our health, right?
I completely agree. Yeah, so as nurses, like Matt said, we're so out there, we're so for somebody else that sometimes we fail to like care for ourselves. We give care to others, and we fail to take care of ourselves. And we're great at giving advice. We give our patients advice all the time. Hey, eat healthy, you gotta exercise, try to stay positive. But a lot of times we're overwhelmed. The hospital is just straight mental. A lot of it's mental. We don't do a whole lot of physical stuff. We're not firefighters where we're breaking down buildings, breaking down doors. We're mentally there trying to figure out what's going on with the patient, mentally dealing with the family, with the aggressive patient, with just like a fused patient, someone that's not clicking. Like, it's so mindful and so mental that I can't explain to like a new grad how it would be, because it's completely different. Like, when you were a nurse in like school, you didn't think it was going to be this mentally challenging, right? That's why it's so important to kind of hone in on like your mental skills and just like your happiness and like your emotions, because if you can't control that outside a hospital, it's going to be very hard to control inside a hospital. Yeah. When you have all these things against you, you have the family screaming, the patients, going to shit, and it's very hard to deal with. So that's why it's very important to be humble and just like stay grounded outside. Take time to relax, take time to do things, meditate if you have to, stretch, do yoga, kind of do things that help you work out on your emotional and like your mental skills.
Yeah, and it's all about creating those habits. It's like, how do you, like, how come me and Peter do all these great things like intermittent fasting? We wake up and we stretch, we meditate, we have like this routine. How did it start? We just didn't wake up great all of a sudden. We didn't master it. Like, it's all about consistency, habits. If you're a nurse that's struggling with these things, what's one thing that you could add on every single day to make your day a little bit better, taking time more for yourself, and ultimately you're going to build that amazing routine that ultimately you're going to be a greater nurse inside and outside of hospital. Because, right, social media, we have to be careful about how we consume things, right? On the aspect here about eating, right, it matters about what we're consuming, what we're eating. So think about this. It's a very holistic approach. What you're eating, how you're sleeping, how are you dieting, what are you consuming on social media, who are you talking to, who you're listening to, your friends, family, all that matters. And that's what it is about health as a nurse. It's all those aspects. And once you nail them, you're gonna be nurses like us.
That's right. One of the biggest like detrimental things to mental and physical health, I feel like it's like social media and almost technology, right? Because technology has made life so easy for us. You know, you can sit on a couch if you want all day, and as that's detrimental to your physical health, right?
Yep.
But you can also stay on social media all day, and it's gonna damage mental health because you see everybody doing these things, you're not doing anything. That's why you kind of have to use that for like your advantage. You have to use social media, not let it use you. So you should find some kind of motivation, some kind of positive aspect on social media, just so you can kind of put you forward, right? Because if you go down the rabbit hole and it's a negative rabbit hole, you're gonna get stuck for a long time. So it's important to incorporate like health and physically and like a mental level, because it's like Matt said, it's very holistic. It's not one rounded. You have to be strong at both, right? You got the defense and the offense. Both have to click. Both have to work for the team to be good, right?
That's
and your
the way it
body is
works.
the team.
Yeah, and if you're a nurse, we're actually curious on how you take care of yourself and the health aspect. What do you guys do on your days off to be a happier and healthier nurse? So let us know. Drop a comment. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you on the next vlog. Who knows what we're going to do, right?
No idea, man. I don't even know.
We'll see. We'll find out.